When you are done watching the 1.6 video from the resource page, you've filled in all the notes. I want you to look at some of these problems differently. So one of the things that I can do is create a matrix mode, and I'm going to teach you how to do that right now. So when you look at these numbers over here, those are called the coefficients. There's a 1 in front of the x, there's a 1 in front of the y, there's a -2 and a 1 in front of that y. So this could be called my matrix A. The solution matrix, let's call that matrix B. The solution matrix is 3 and -6. So if I go to a calculator, I'm going to hit, we're on the main screen. I can hit second, x to the -1 right here, and I can edit my matrices. So the first matrix, A, I want 2 and 2. Now notice there are 4 spots for me to type in. So I can put a 1 in that one. I can put a 1 in that one. I can put the -2 there. And I can put the 1 there. So that's matrix A. Then you go back to matrix, and now you're going to slide over to edit, and you're going to edit B. So I go into B. That's a 2 by 1 because matrices are rows by column. So I want 2 rows, things across, 1 column up and down. So this solution, remember, was 3 and -6. Okay? So if I go to solve this using matrices, now that I've put them in, I do second matrix. I'm going to select A. Then I hit that x to the -1 button that, without hitting second, it's x to the -1 right there. And I get that out of there. And then I go back and hit second matrix, and I go down and get B. The calculator is doing a lot of work to come up with what is called an inverse matrix, and it multiplies times the solution. And when I hit enter, it does the work for me. Now, because I left the equations in x, y form, my answer is x on top, y on the bottom. And so I get x is 3, y is 0. So if you can do that for some of these other problems. As long as they are in x, y's, it's very easy to do what we just did. Now, let's say you wanted to do the substitution method using matrices. Well, I would need to bring this -2 back over here. So I have 5x minus 3y is equal to 23. I didn't change that one. Then I put the 2x here plus y is equal to 7. And so the matrix then would be A would be 5, -3, 2, and 1. Remember, there's a 1 right there. We don't have to write the ones in front. And then my solution matrix would be the 23 and 7. So if I go over to my calculator, I go back and I do second x to the -1. I want to edit the first matrix. The 5 and the -3, I didn't change that equation, but remember I brought the -2 over, so this was now a positive 2x and the 1y. And then my matrix B, you have to edit, and then you have to put 23 and 7. So it's still a 2 by 1, but you put 23 and 7. Now, the cool thing is if you have done a lot of these in a row, because the last thing that I did on my screen was A to the -1 times B, I can just hit second enter, and it will type it in there again for me. But you can also just go back to matrix A, hit the -1, go back to matrix, and grab B. So there are a couple different ways, but when you hit enter now, it's 4, -1. So my x is 4, my y is -1. Some of you might find this faster using matrix method, so it's good to have a bunch of tools that you can do. So you've done some of these, again, this elimination method, it's in the video, go watch it. But now I have ones in front of there and there, so this is matrix A is 1, 2, 1, 1. Matrix B is 10, 6. So it's set up perfectly for us. So I go back to the main matrix and I edit, and I do, just a second. I do the 1, whoop, this is still 2 by 2. Once you have the matrices, don't change the size unless you go to 3 by 3s, which would be later on. So I can do 1, 2, 1, 1. Second matrix, edit, go to B, and do 10 and 6. Oops. I need to keep this 2 by 1. Oops. Dang it. Delete it. 2 by 1. Sorry about that. And this is 10 and 6 for my solutions. Let me just double check that it. 2 by 1. I want a 10 and 6. 10 and 6. So obviously you're watching me. Be very careful how you're typing stuff in. If you're going too fast like I'm trying to do, it doesn't always work the best. But I can hit second, enter, and it will recall what I just did. But with new matrices, I get new answers. So the answer there was 2, 4. And what you'll find is that all of these answers work. So again, really the only thing you have to worry about then would be these. And so you should go through the notes and figure out, what does that look like on the matrix? What kind of answers do I get on the matrices?